Welcome to Lead Like a Girl, where we are empowering everyday women through our stories. I'm your host, Jessica Smith, and I began this journey by sharing my life story. Now, I've joined forces with my longtime friends, Jamie and Corlin, to keep this party going. We met many years ago as young sales girls in our 20s, driven and quickly rising to the top of our industry. As the years went on, life happened, and we all found ourselves in new companies and completely different industries, still striving for success in it all. Career, family, faith, fun. Now, it wasn't easy, but we never stopped moving. Get ready for our real conversations, inspiring stories, and our big life lessons as we share it all. The good, the bad, and the funny. Welcome to Lead Like a Girl.
Welcome to Lead Like a Girl. We are here today to have a discussion a little more with the trio here about our careers. Welcome, Jamie and Corlin.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you,
Nice
ladies,
to see you.
as well.
You got those red lips on today?
Yes, always. I try. I'm going to change it up next time. I'm going to go to pink, Corlin. So I want to just give a quick recap. So this is our second episode. So we are just really excited to continue the conversation. And our last episode, we touched a little bit about why we're here, what the heck are we doing here, how we met, kind of reminisced a little bit, went down memory lane. But I want to start off today with just kind of getting a good understanding of all of our career journeys for everyone so that they have a little understanding of where we've been in terms of our career. So for those that don't know my story, mine's kind of short but long. And that is I had some off like here and there jobs. I think I worked at Red Lobster for a couple of months.
Hey, don't discount Red Lobster, the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
You know what?
Those are next level.
I took those things home all the time. They were really good. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I was going to say that was really my only job, but this is funny. I don't know if you guys know this. Fun fact. I also worked third shift in a plastic factory.
What?
Yes.
What? Doing what? I have no idea.
Making plastic shit like a plastic, like. So these were.
What do you think we do in a plastic factory?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. It's hella hot in a plastic factory. But
how hot is that again?
It's hot. It's hot. And
so hot.
I worked third shift because by this time I already had Jonathan and and me and my husband at the time both worked at this plastic factory. That didn't last long actually because I know what happened. He cheated with the manager, our manager. So that kind of ended
the
that
plastic
job.
factory?
At the plastic factory, yes. So that
Can't trust
happened.
those.
Anyway, didn't last long. That was and then Fred's Dollar Store. I totally forgot. I worked at Fred's Dollar Store. You guys probably never heard of that, but that's a dollar store.
I did not see any of these jobs on your resume when we became friends. I'm just saying. I missed that.
They're not on there. And you know that brag sheet that I talk about too, that one pager? Not on there at all. Okay, so Fred's Dollar Store, Red Lobster, and the plastic factory, all in Kentucky, short-lived, not anything to really talk about. So my first real job, as I talked about, I started my sales career 19 years old at our previous company and almost 20 years. And that's kind of my career journey, starting off as a telemarketer, ad in the paper, got hired on the spot, and then went from telemarketing to sales, and then fell into that manager role just because I was the only person who knew how to disperse hot leads. You guys know what that means. So that was
those leads are so hot.
Those leads were super hot and
hotter than the plastic factory.
That was a good one. Yes, they were.
Thank you.
And listen, you guys didn't remember this, but you know, this was a true story. You didn't do this. You totally missed opportunity. So when someone was late for work, we took their fresh letters. So you worked your butt off all week to get all of those. You made those cold calls. You had those fresh letters for the day before. Those were your people you were calling. If you were 1 minute late, okay, Mr. Mignani, he was not playing about being late. Yes, I called him out. He doesn't care. He said it's okay. What just happened?
What is happening? That was a balloon.
He's there in spirit. He's there in spirit, and he just celebrated himself.
He celebrated.
For those of you listening, there was a feature on the video that just had a celebration of lots of balloons.
For people losing their fresh letters. Okay, funny. So anyway, that was funny. But we took people's fresh letters if they were 1 minute late. And so that right there, and we're going to talk about the lessons of that world. But that was the first lesson. I'm a punctual person. I am never late. And if you get your fresh letters taken away a couple times, you will never be late for work as well. So that's my career journey. Jamie, tell us a little bit about your career journey up to our DB days.
So I'm going to take it really, really far back to me at age 11. Okay.
So 11. You guys,
didn't you?
Put your seatbelts on for this one.
Here's the thing, guys. When you live in Iowa and you grow up in Iowa, you start work at 11. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah. One of those
on
kids
the farm, or
I babysat for the neighbors, and what's so funny is the neighbors that I babysat for. They had 3 kids who were just so naughty. The oldest daughter would take the baby and hide him in the doghouse or the shed so that I couldn't find him.
This is life in Iowa? What is
this? This is Iowa. I'm 11 years old. And I'm like, where's your brother? Just horrible. I remember I had a horrible sunburn one time, and she jumped on my back, and she knew it, and she slapped my back really hard because I was sunburned. That was my first job.
Wow.
Got paid $1 an hour. So
nice.
Cool.
Worth every penny.
Old.
Yeah. And she, the very naughty girl, is a daycare provider at like present day. So anyway, after that was strawberry picking. You got paid by how many strawberries you picked, and you could eat them while you were picking them.
I bet you were. I bet you were the number one strawberry picker.
Oh no. I ate them all. I just ate them. I just picked them and ate them because you could eat them. You got paid for how many you picked, so I ate them.
Like 1 for you, 9 for me. One
exactly.
for you.
I was like, ooh, this is a big old juicy one. Yeah. After that,
one snort. One snort.
Okay. After that was detasseling. So that is when you walk through a cornfield and you pull the tassels off the top of the corn stalks. It's really hard. You get a rash on your hands, and your hands get cut up, and you make about $7 an hour. That's stage 1 of me in my working career. After that, I started, so as one does in high school, it's fast food, right? So I worked at Hardee's for a little bit, and then I went to Pizza Hut.
Those Frisco burgers. Shout out to Hardee's.
Oh my
Frisco
gosh,
burgers.
yes. I know, they're so good. But I
never
went
had
to
a
Pizza
Frisco
Hut.
burger.
Oh, you should, girl. Get one before they close. Before all the Hardee's are no longer.
Hardee's is not a sponsor of this podcast yet.
Oh, right.
For the record.
For the record.
Yeah. So I went to I was in college. I worked at Pizza Hut.
I remember your Pizza Hut stories.
Yeah. I mean, I was like 18, and they said, well, we want you to be a shift manager. So I was a shift manager. And then after that, they said, well, we want you to be an assistant manager. And I was in college, community college, I was like 18, 19 years old. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do that. And then when I was 20, they said, well, we want to send you to manager school. We want you to manage a Pizza Hut. And so at the time, when you're 20 years old, you're like, holy buckets, like $40,000 a year sounds like so much money because I'm freaking 20 and like I'm in college.
And back then it was good money, Jamie.
It was good money. It was. It was 1998.
You didn't have to tell us the year, but
I thought we were all still
Wait,
29.
It was 1998.
I'm sorry,
That's when I
what?
started.
It was you said it was good money. I feel like I had to justify the year.
Are you sure it was 98?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
96. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was going to say,
was
because I
96.
started at
Yeah, no.
DB
You're
in
right.
98.
You are right. It was 96.
Okay.
So, I ended up becoming the youngest manager of a Pizza Hut in Iowa at age 20. And
Nice.
to
That
this
is
day,
what happens
is
if
that
I
on your
clap.
resume?
it's not. I left it off.
Can
I
we do
don't
the
know.
balloons again? That
How do you do that? But the thing that's so crazy that I think about to this day is like, you know, when you're 20, 21, 22, you're out, you want to go party with your college friends, you want to go whatever. I had access to 2 kegs of beer at that Pizza Hut at age 20. Do you think I ever drank a beer? I never did. I was working late cleaning the oven and like being a whatever. I should have
being a
drank
good
beer.
employee is what that is.
I really was.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Rule
That
so,
doesn't surprise me.
oh my gosh. So like age 20, 21, decided to move to Minneapolis, kind of on a whim. My friend and I had like this, so I'm going to throw in a tidbit of information. I was a ring girl at boxing matches for a short period of time. And during that,
Oh, now this
Yeah.
one is new for me. Okay.
I knew that one. I knew that one.
yeah.
Can I just
So-
ask, what was your uniform? I'm just asking.
Oh, it was
for
a
the people,
coral.
for the people in the back.
It was a very fluorescent coral bikini with a numbered round 2. Coors Light
Oh,
You
slash
still got the good
Busch-
form, Jamie. If for that's
Did I
still
do
good form.
Do you
Yeah,
have pictures?
so- Oh, I do.
Oh,
I haven't
my
showed
God.
you. Okay,
I am so
I'll
you
show
never showed me that. You never showed me that. This is the first time learning, and I'm just truly
It was-
disappointed.
It was brief. Okay, we'll just say it was brief.
Your
Um,
outfit or the time or both.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
No.
All of
No.
the
The time. I
I
promise.
also can we
Maybe
note
both. I don't
that
know.
Jessica asked you what your uniform was?
Yeah. I mean, what was it called? I was trying to
My
be,
Pizza Hut uniform included
no,
a
no,
button
that's
up.
not what I was talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
So anyway,
All right,
like long
so-
story. Let's just get back to it. I ended up. I'm like, I'm going to move to Minneapolis. Luckily, my cousin Sarah lived up there, and I moved in with her for about 6 months. I interviewed at the company. The position was called Public Relations Director.
Yes.
And
we were
I was-
directors back
I-
then.
oh
That was
my
some
gosh.
BS. Go ahead.
I was so excited though, because I mean, think about it. Like, I'm like freaking making pizza dough and mopping floors and crap.
Yeah.
And I'm in a small, and keep in mind, I'm in a small town. So my employees are high school kids. Like,
Yeah.
I was the person who, I mean, granted, I did well there. Like, I created a marketing flyer that the company used, like, you know, district wide. And I took the initiative to employ kids who were bilingual, because we had a really large Mexican population in the town. And I was like, I was known as the employer who had all the pregnant high school girls, because I was like,
Oh.
come on, girls, like they got to work, you know? So I had like 3 pregnant high school
Look
girls.
at you, women
I
empowerment
freaking
right
loved
there.
them though. I mean,
That's
I was like,
fantastic.
mom.
Then.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'm the mom around town. But so I mean, I did have I learned a lot from that. But when I started, when I moved to Minneapolis and I got the opportunity to work for this company, it was like one of those things where it's like, holy buckets, I can wear a suit and heels. I can learn a new trade. I can take all these things I learned from being a manager of a fast food place. I mean, essentially fast food, and just being a manager of a business and use it. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't discount Pizza Hut. I mean, I did consumables. I did inventory. I hired and fired. I did PR. I did everything. And I learned a lot in a couple of years as, you know, a 20-year-old. So I didn't intend to speak that long about that, but that was my journey up until the company that we all worked for, that we all became really huge successes at. So
Well,
that's
and
me.
that makes total sense to me why you were a huge success at that company. And this is why I love stories, and every piece of our story is really important about who we are today. So, yeah, and I learned some new stuff. How do you learn new stuff. I hear people tell me that, even family members, when they listen to previous episodes, of like, when did that happen? Or you did that, or that's what was going on. So super cool that I learned something new today. Corlin. Now, she gave us a little bit, but give us a little more in terms of your whole career evolution up until our DB days.
Yeah. So I also had my share of really crazy beginning jobs. I'll tell you this, my first job that I ever got paid for outside of babysitting or whatnot, I was asking my mom, I wanted to work, and I was 14, maybe 15. I think I was 14 years old. And my mom had said she had a friend of hers that owned a temp agency and that he could get me a job. And I said, great. Didn't have the wherewithal to ask anything, what I'd be doing, what the job is. She talked to him. He said, great. You know what? I can pick her up, have her be ready on Sunday night at 3:00. And I said, okay. I actually didn't even know what I was going to be doing. And so he said, just wear just normal clothes. You don't have to get dressed up, anything like that. Turns out I was a dishwasher at a local country club. And this guy picks me up in an airport van with people that, I'm not even kidding you, the whole van was filled with, it looked like convicts. And me, 14-year-old girl, get on this bus. And
what do convicts look like? Wait. What do convicts look like?
I got a typecast. You guys can imagine.
Please tell me.
All dudes. I mean, maybe 10 teeth amongst 8 people, and
were they in orange jumpsuits?
No,
I'm just asking.
They were not.
Uniform.
I don't know. It was a very quiet conversation. I just was sitting in the corner, not chatty at all. But I go to this country club, and the guy comes in. He's like, "This is how you wash the dishes." And I put on this apron, and I don't know what they had for dinner, man, but it was so nasty. It was fish and like some sort of green jelly or something like that. And I did this wash dishes for probably
I think
2
that's
or
called
3 hours.
Slime.
It was.
That was salsa. That was salsa.
This is what they serve at the country club. So gross. Right. And while I'm trying to wash dishes, I've got 3 dudes trying to hit on me, and I'm just trying to tell them, like, I'm in high school. Like, I am not your person. Like, and I have to get back on this bus and ride back to my house. And my mom is just, how'd it go? And I had to come back and say, I don't ever want to do that again.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
However, I think though that like your Pizza Hut job, I've worked retail a little bit. I think that those jobs where it's heavy service, heavy people, or whatever, those jobs that people take for granted, so you have to have that job at some point in your life, because I never took for granted. A lot of my story is I worked in the restaurant industry. And so that dishwasher job, it sucks. And in my opinion, like it's somebody has to do it and it's fine, but it's just like, I appreciate that. And I don't ever like, I appreciate that. So anyway, so that was my first job. I worked at a couple I worked at a toy store. I worked at a hair salon as a receptionist for a little bit in there. Fast forward, I went to college, and I went to school, kind of bebopped around for what my major was, but I settled on an entrepreneurship degree. So everything that we did and learned was business. So lots of accounting, lots of economics, but it was bootstrapping courses. It was how to write a business plan, how to do all these things. And in between there, I had gotten a job while I was at school. I had a work-study job working at the university. I had to work while I was in college. And so I just went, and my work-study job was, I just wanted to do the thing that you got paid the most at. Same as Jamie, I worked at the university. I got paid $7 an hour to cold call anybody that was connected to our university and ask them for money. So that was actually my first job of doing any kind of telemarketing, any kind of relationship building. And I tell you, in probably 6 months, I raised $500,000 for this university. And I was looking at my paychecks that were $40 for, I'd raise $100,000 and I'd get paid like $6. It was just
like your first cue in of your value, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
right.
Let me ask you, Cord, did you like cold calling right off the bat?
I did. People were scared to call people, and we had a script, and they asked you. We had questions asked to develop rapport with people, and I just loved listening to people's stories because a lot of people get excited about where they graduated from and telling their stories, and I just could listen to that, develop a little rapport, ask them for the ask, and not be afraid to be told no. You know,
Got it.
who is that,
So,
right?
so these people were not, because I think back when I started cold calling and I hated it, but we were calling them trying to, talk about home remodeling and buying furniture, and they
Yeah.
didn't want to talk to me and they kept hanging up on me and calling me names. So I hated it probably for the first 3 weeks. But after that, when I started getting good at it, that's when people started saying yes. That's when I
Right.
started liking it, but I hated it at first.
And there's probably a little bit of that because nobody likes to keep doing stuff that they're bad at. But I think when you
Right.
have that success, and I got people to give up money, and I got to go up and ring the bell, and everyone is wondering, how are
the
you doing
bell.
this?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there has to be a bell, right? There's a
Right.
bell. The bells are amazing. But
We had
so
one
I
of
had
those big loud things. What are those called? Like
a gong.
yeah, we had one of those in our showroom. I mean, in our call center. Anyway.
That's great. We did not have a gong, did we? We didn't. No, we didn't. Anyways, after that, I just had gotten a clue. I was like, I need to get another job. I feel like I can do something different. My grandma knew a restaurant owner in downtown St. Paul, and she said, "Why don't you go down there and see what he's got to offer?" So literally walked in.
I'm noticing a theme here, Core. I don't know.
It's about who you know, right?
Well, I'm feeling there's a little privilege happening here for you, where you're like, my mom had a friend and she told me to go, and my
It sounds
grandma
glamorous.
knew someone.
It's not. Yeah,
I love it. Okay, go ahead. No, but this is a good thing, and it's good that you learned that early on because my grandma didn't know no one, my mama didn't know no one, my dad did. Well, they knew a lot of people, but none that were going to give me a job. So, but that's
Right.
important, and you had exposure to that and learned that early on. One other question I wanted to ask both of you, I think another theme that I'm hearing is you both started working at a young age, and I didn't hear any breaks here. I feel like you started working as teenagers and you've been working ever since. Is that right?
I've never had a break from a job outside of vacation. I've never had a sabbatical, never got laid off, and never had a job ever. Jamie?
Ever.
I don't think I've ever only had one job.
Oh,
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that
Yeah.
because Jamie's she's a true gangster like that.
I do not think I've ever had one job.
There's always been
Never.
a side hustle in Jamie's life, no
or
matter
a
what.
full-time hustle.
Or a full-time, or 2 full-time
Or just
hustles.
2 full-time jobs, right? We're not gonna go
For
in there. We're not gonna
4
open up that
years.
can of worms right
Yeah.
now.
Oh my goodness.
But sorry, I
We're
just
not doing
wanted
that
to
now.
make
But
sure
no,
that I was.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
think the same with you, Jessica. Like it when you think about how young you got started. I mean, you have responsibilities as a young person, and
Mhm.
even if it's not a typical job, I never. Have you ever not had some source of income, some sort of income
Right.
since you were a young age?
Yeah,
Never.
we didn't have anybody. I don't think any of us had anyone just giving us money. We didn't have a trust fund. We didn't have, so it was like, oh, okay, you need money. And in my case, oh, you have this kid, you better make some money to feed this kid. And so that was that part. But
Right.
anyway, so Corlin, you get this job. You talked about the guy
Oh yeah.
bouncing
So
the
then
check.
Yeah. So in between there, I developed a love for the restaurant industry. So I started working at the restaurant industry as a server at this restaurant bar downtown St. Paul. My first night made $100 in 4 hours. So yeah. And so I just thought I had been doing this wrong for so long. I would come back to my dorm and I had a car. I had somebody pick me up from work. I didn't have a car on campus. And I would go, so I wouldn't be able to get to the bank. And one day I remember my friend from college, she's rifling through my underwear drawer for whatever reason, but that was my bank. And I just had hundreds of dollars in cash in my drawer. And she's like, what are you doing? Are you dealing drugs or something? Like, no,
Right.
I'm working at the restaurant and I don't get to the bank. And so she's like, I need to get a job there,
Right.
So, but I
Hook
had
me
worked
up.
in the restaurant industry for a long time, which brings me to the company I shared in our last episode, that it was a advertising company that connected restaurants with hotels. And I thought, well, I wanted to, in between there, I ended up managing a restaurant. And I just realized that if you're not the owner of a restaurant, or if you're the owner, you're probably going to make money but it's long hours. But if you're a server or bartender, it's fun and a lot of money, but I wanted something more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you ever want to open your own, being in that industry? Did you have a dream at that time to open your own bar or restaurant?
Yeah, a little bit. It was one of those things that I thought like that would be really fun, but I never had that idea of like what it would be, maybe a franchise or something like that. But I just couldn't see the end without having a bank load too to be able to invest in it. And
Sure.
so into this advertising route, again, had a paycheck bounce, needed to find something different. Fast forward, interviewed with the company and got that job, which I shared a little bit in the last episode and how that all came to be. But I never, until I started putting this together, I just thought, the company was where I really started my sales career. But really, I just, like with all of us, all these different things that we put ourselves into and the things that we worked on, even way back working as a receptionist at a salon, all were building a foundation for us to hit the ground running and really be successful at this company that we worked at. You guys agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
100%.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, for me, I remember when I started at the company, going to the interview, and they hired me. Well, first of all, the interview consisted of asking a few questions, and I'm curious to know if you guys did it the same way. And it was the cold call script. So they handed you the cold call script and said, well, wait, this is probably different because you guys were, correct me if I'm wrong, you were hired in a sales role. I was hired as a
Right.
telemarketer. So that's,
Yeah.
I started from the bottom.
Yeah.
And
we were directors.
Exactly.
We were directors.
So with that being said, it was read this script out loud. And I read the script out loud, and it was like, oh, wow, you are a natural. You are born to do this. And I remember leaving there like,
started the compliment sandwich right there.
Right. Born to be a telemarketer? Okay. But and
you know what, though? Can I just say, telemarketers make so much money.
It's sales. It's sales.
That's a great freaking job. Like, you make so much money as a telemarketer. Just throwing that out there.
Well, especially when there is, commission involved. And I thought, the one thing that I took away when I got hired, when they were going over the pay, I want to say it was like $4, $4.50 an hour.
Mark,
but when
paying
you
Jessica $4 an hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Seriously, $4 or $4.50. It couldn't have been any more than $6 an hour. Seriously, this was in 1998.
Don't age us,
right? This was in 1998. And listen, this is what they said. They said, when you memorize the script verbatim, you are going to get a 50-cent raise. And I said, oh, okay. And I remember walking out the door and then turning back around and coming back in saying, can I have a copy of that script to take with me? And she was like, sure. When I got home, I asked my sister, is a 50-cent raise good? Doesn't it seem like a lot? And she's like, hell yeah, that's a lot. The last raise I got was like 20 cents. Yeah, that's a lot. And I'm like, oh, because this lady said, all I have to do is memorize this script and I get a 50 cents raise. And my sister's like, well, you better get your butt in there and memorize that. And I was like, well, I start tomorrow. She's like, you better get your butt in there and memorize that. Mm-hmm. And I came back the next day with it memorized. And I remember her saying, oh, okay. Yeah. Remember I said it needed to be verbatim? Like, I didn't know what the word verbatim meant. And I was like, yeah, it's memorized verbatim. And she's like, oh, okay. And I said it.
And you just knocked it out of the park, right? Absolutely.
She gave me the directions. Yes. Word for word. And I said, I want to get this out of the way because I want to make sure that this is not, well, starting tomorrow, I need my pay. I showed up early for my first day to say that script, to get my 50 cents starting that day.
But that's a testament also to the efficiency of like, you tell me what to do to be successful and I'll do it.
That's it. And that was already in me.
Tell me what to do and I'll do it and I'll be successful. If that's what I need to do, I'll do it. I love that.
Yeah. Yep. And that was already in me. And that was probably the first discipline, right, that paid off. And I got a 50-cent raise. And guess what? Almost 20 years, all the people that I hired, I made it a habit to give them a copy of that script. Mm-hmm. And guess how many people showed up the next day or a week later or whatever their first day was with the script memorized?
I'm going to say 0. That's going to be my guess.
Freaking 0. 0.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Jessica, you are a diamond in the rough.
I think so myself. But
it's true though. I mean, I feel like when I touched on it last episode, that's what I did with Jamie. Was the number one person in our entire company, and I'm like, I'm just gonna follow what she does. She's successful, and that's how it just had to be.
I'm gonna follow.
And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all.
No
need to reinvent the wheel.
Totally. And we talked about that with future episodes where I was like, dang it, I gotta ask the a-hole in my company to give me advice because he's the most successful, but it's like I gotta freaking ask him.
That's not what you said, but Jamie, though.
It is not. But I'm being very PC for Corlin today.
Wait, no, I like
all right.
Wait, what did you say? Holy buckets. I'm gonna take that one away.
I did say holy buckets, but
all those holy buckets.
Right, that's my new word.
So what's our takeaway? What is our takeaway from this
we gotta
episode?
Wrap up, guys.
We're here at the end, and I think our takeaway here is that I love the fact that you ladies shared your career journey, because I think it really is a testament of where we're at today, right, and how we got here. How we were very successful in our previous careers for many years, always top performers. That this is the story. That's kind of where it all comes around full circle. I think our next episode,
your origin story matters, right? Where you came from and how you got here, it matters.
It
always.
absolutely matters. And here, I want to next episode, I want to kind of dig a little deeper in, what we really gained. What was that life like for us, that DB life? And
this is going to be a good one. I can't wait to talk about it.
And then
I almost feel like we need to have an interview.
Right. We are. We're interviewing each other. So listen, until next time, listen, make your week great. You guys any last minute thoughts before we're out of here?
I just want to say thanks because I learned more about the two of you tonight than I knew before, and I love it. And I'm so glad that we all feel like super safe in the space of like telling each other and other people where we came from.
Yep.
Amen to that. More to come. I'll take that.
See ya.
Bye.